Have you ever felt invisible in a conversation, like your words didn't carry weight or your message got lost halfway? Many smart, capable people struggle not because they lack ideas, but because they can't communicate them clearly. In this story, you'll not only practice listening to English, but also discover powerful, practical principles to transform the way you connect with others. Maya was 26 years old and worked as a graphic designer in a mid-sized company. Her creative skills were undeniable. She could take a vague idea and turn it into a visually stunning design in a matter of hours. Her colleagues often admired her technical expertise and artistic vision. Yet, when it came to speaking up in meetings or presenting her work to clients, Maya felt like a completely different person. Inside the conference room, with eyes turning toward her, her hands trembled. Her voice quivered. Words came out broken, scattered, and without confidence. Sometimes, she avoided speaking altogether, even when she had valuable ideas that could improve a project. On more than one occasion, she watched as another colleague expressed an idea similar to hers, receiving praise and recognition that she had silently longed for. The more this happened, the deeper her frustration grew. She knew she had talent. She knew her designs spoke volumes. But she also realized something uncomfortable. In the professional world, it wasn't enough to have great ideas. If you couldn't communicate them clearly, it was almost as if they didn't exist. This inner conflict became her daily struggle. She wanted to be recognized, to contribute, to feel respected. Yet, every time she faced a situation that required her to speak, she froze. At night, she replayed conversations in her mind, thinking of better words she could have said. The regret weighed on her. Maya's story reflects the reality of millions of professionals around the world. Brilliant thinkers, skilled workers, and creative talents often fall behind not because they lack ability, but because their communication skills fail them. In workplaces, ideas are currency, but the ability to express those ideas is what truly unlocks opportunity. Maya's journey was not just about career growth. It was about finding her voice. And like many people, she had to confront the uncomfortable truth. Communication is not a soft skill. It's a survival skill, one that decides whether your potential shines or stays hidden in silence. One Friday evening, Maya reluctantly signed up for a workshop called Master the Art of Communication. She wasn't sure what to expect. A part of her feared that it would be filled with overly confident people who already spoke well. But as she walked into the room, she noticed something surprising. Everyone looked nervous, just like her. The trainer, a calm and charismatic woman named Elena, began with a simple but powerful statement. Communication is not about speaking more. It's about connecting better. Those words hit Maya like a spark. She had always believed that good communicators were people who talked endlessly, filled the room with words, and never ran out of things to say. But Elena's message flipped that belief upside down. It wasn't about quantity, it was about quality. Throughout the session, Maya listened as Elena broke down the essence of communication into 3 elements: clarity, active listening, and body language. First, clarity. Elena explained that people often lose confidence because they clutter their message with unnecessary words. A clear, concise sentence is far more powerful than a long, rambling explanation. Maya realized this was her mistake. She often overthought, trying to sound smart, but ended up confusing even herself. Second, active listening. Elena emphasized that great communicators don't just talk, they make others feel heard. Maya noticed how, in her workplace, she often focused on preparing her reply instead of truly listening. That habit weakened her ability to connect. Third, body language. Elena demonstrated how posture, eye contact, and gestures communicate as much as words. Maya had always avoided eye contact out of nervousness, not realizing it made her appear unsure. At that moment, Maya's perspective shifted. She understood that communication wasn't some mysterious talent she was born without. It was a skill, just like design, that could be learned, practiced, and mastered. She didn't need to transform into a talkative extrovert. She only needed to refine the way she expressed her ideas and the way she connected with others. Walking out of the workshop, Maya felt something she hadn't felt in a long time: hope. For the first time, she believed she could change, not by becoming someone else, but by training herself step by step. This was the turning point that set her on a new journey. After the workshop, Maya decided she wouldn't just let the lessons fade away. She made a promise to herself. Every day, she would practice one principle of communication until it became natural. She knew this wouldn't happen overnight, but just like learning design software or mastering a new creative skill, she could build it step by step. Active listening was the first habit she tackled. Maya realized that in the past, she had listened only halfway, already preparing her response before the other person finished. Now, she practiced giving her full attention. During meetings, instead of rushing to speak, she leaned in slightly, nodded, and let people finish their thoughts. She would then summarize by saying, "So what you mean is, or if I understand correctly, you're suggesting that." At first, it felt a bit forced. But soon, she noticed the effect. It made colleagues feel respected and valued. Even quiet team members started opening up more when Maya was in the room. Next, she focused on clarity and simplicity. Maya had a bad habit of over-explaining, which diluted her ideas. To change this, she challenged herself to make every point in 1 or 2 crisp sentences. Instead of a long explanation, she would say, "The problem is X. The solution is Y." At first, she was nervous that her answers would sound too simple. But to her surprise, people appreciated the straightforwardness. In brainstorming sessions, her comments suddenly carried more weight because they cut through the noise. Then came nonverbal signals. Elena's words about body language echoed in Maya's mind. She practiced standing tall, keeping her shoulders relaxed, and making steady eye contact. At home, she even stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her smile and posture. At first, it felt awkward, but she noticed the difference immediately. In her next meeting, simply maintaining eye contact while presenting her idea made people pay more attention. She realized that sometimes it wasn't about the words at all. It was about the confidence her body projected. The 4th skill she worked on was storytelling in communication. Maya discovered that facts and numbers often went unnoticed, but stories stuck in people's minds. So, when she presented a new design project, she didn't just show slides of layouts and color schemes. Instead, she told a story. Imagine you're a customer walking into the app for the first time. Here's what you would see. Here's how you'd feel. The difference was dramatic. Her team leaned forward, genuinely interested. Her boss later told her, "That was the clearest and most engaging presentation you've ever done." Of course, none of this came without practice. Maya made a routine of practicing under pressure. She spoke in front of the mirror, recorded herself, and even asked a close friend to role-play meetings with her. In the beginning, her voice still trembled when she addressed a group. But with repetition, the fear started to fade. She learned how to breathe deeply before speaking, how to slow her pace, and how to pause instead of rushing through her words. Each small improvement built her confidence. After several weeks of consistent effort, the results became undeniable. During a big presentation for a new client, Maya stood at the front of the room. Her heart raced, but instead of letting fear control her, she remembered her training. Eye contact, simple sentences, a story to guide her ideas. As she spoke, she noticed something remarkable. The room was quiet, people were nodding, and her boss was smiling. When the presentation ended, her colleagues actually applauded. The client leaned forward and said, "That was one of the most engaging design proposals we've heard." Maya's boss gave her an approving nod and later told her that he wanted her to lead more client-facing projects in the future. Walking out of that meeting, Maya felt a wave of pride. Just a few weeks ago, she had been terrified of speaking. Now, she had not only found her voice but also earned new respect and opportunities. Communication was no longer a barrier. It was becoming one of her greatest strengths. This journey wasn't just about becoming a better speaker. It was about realizing that with practice, patience, and the right techniques, Maya could transform herself. And if she could do it, so could anyone. After weeks of consistent practice and reflection, Maya realized that communication wasn't just a tool for sharing ideas. It was the bridge to trust, respect, and influence. Looking back on her journey, she identified 5 key lessons that completely reshaped how she approached every conversation. Lesson 1. Listening builds trust. Maya discovered that when she truly listened, without interrupting, without planning her response in advance, people opened up. They felt safe to share, and they felt heard. This simple act of listening created trust faster than any clever argument or flashy presentation. She noticed that colleagues started seeking her opinion more, not because she always had the answers, but because they knew she valued their voices. Lesson 2. Clarity is confidence. At first, Maya feared that simplifying her words would make her seem less intelligent. But the opposite was true. The clearer her points, the more confident she appeared. When she stated problems and solutions in short, direct sentences, her team took her seriously. She realized that clarity wasn't just about words. It was about showing respect for people's time and attention. Lesson 3. Your body speaks louder than words. Through eye contact, posture, and a calm smile, Maya learned that nonverbal communication could completely change how her words were received. Even when her voice wavered, her steady gaze and open body language carried confidence. She understood that people don't just hear your message, they feel it through your presence. Her body language became an unspoken reinforcement of her ideas. Lesson 4. Stories are memorable. Maya saw the difference immediately when she began using stories. A list of features was quickly forgotten, but a simple scenario, imagine your customer logging in for the first time, stuck with her audience. She realized that stories reach both the mind and the heart, making complex ideas easy to remember. From that point on, every presentation became an opportunity to craft a narrative, not just deliver data. Lesson 5. Practice makes it natural. Finally, Maya embraced the truth that communication is a skill, not a gift. Recording herself, practicing in front of a mirror, and speaking under pressure gradually removed her fear. Each rehearsal made her a little stronger, until confidence became her new normal. What once felt terrifying eventually became second nature. Together, these 5 lessons transformed Maya from a quiet designer afraid to speak into a confident communicator whose ideas carried influence. Most importantly, she realized that anyone, no matter how shy, nervous, or unsure, could master these same lessons. Communication is not about talent. It is about practice, intention, and growth. When Maya reflected on her transformation, she realized her story was not unique. Across workplaces, classrooms, and even family dinners, countless people struggle, not because they lack knowledge or talent, but because they cannot communicate their value. A brilliant idea locked inside someone's head is no different from an idea that doesn't exist. The world only rewards what it can see, hear, and understand. Research supports this reality. According to the Harvard Business Review, 85% of career success comes from soft skills, with communication standing at the center. Technical skills may get you hired, but it's your ability to explain, persuade, and connect that determines how far you rise. Similarly, a Stanford research study found that professionals with strong communication skills are 30% more likely to be promoted than equally skilled peers who cannot express themselves as clearly. The wider message is clear. Communication is not optional. It is the currency of leadership, influence, and meaningful relationships. In personal life, poor communication can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and missed opportunities for connection. In professional life, it can mean being overlooked for promotions, excluded from projects, or underestimated despite hard work. Yet, the hopeful truth is this: communication is a skill, not a personality trait. Introverts, shy individuals, or people from different cultural backgrounds can all learn it. Like Maya, anyone can practice active listening, clarity, body language, and storytelling until these habits feel natural. With effort, even the quietest voice can command respect. So, the question becomes, what would happen if you master communication? Imagine interviews where your answers flow effortlessly. Picture meetings where your ideas capture attention. Envision relationships where your words deepen trust instead of causing confusion. The difference is life-changing. By investing in communication, you're not just improving conversations, you're rewriting your future. If you could express your thoughts clearly and confidently, how different would your career and relationships be? Maya's journey proves an important truth. Communication is not an inborn gift, reserved for a lucky few. It is a skill like writing, coding, or drawing, that can be studied, practiced, and mastered. The ability to connect through words and presence is one of the most powerful advantages a person can cultivate. Think about it. Ideas are only as valuable as your ability to share them. Confidence is only as strong as the clarity with which you express it. And relationships, whether professional or personal, thrive when people feel understood. That's why improving your communication skills is not simply about sounding better. It is about unlocking doors that talent alone cannot open. Here's the challenge. Choose one of the 5 lessons Maya learned. Listening builds trust, clarity is confidence, body language matters, stories are memorable, or practice makes it natural, and commit to it today. Don't wait for a perfect situation. Growth begins with small, consistent action. Take a moment now. Write down one conversation you know is coming this week. A meeting with your manager, a chat with a colleague, a call with a friend. Decide which skill you'll apply in that conversation. Maybe you'll practice active listening by summarizing what the other person says. Maybe you'll use a simple story to explain your idea. Whatever you choose, treat it as your training ground. Each conversation is an opportunity. Each practice builds confidence. And each improvement brings you closer to becoming someone others listen to, respect, and remember. Always keep this truth close. The right words, spoken with confidence, can open doors you never imagined. Master communication, and you master your future.